Pinterest just launched their 2025 Pinterest Fall Trend Report, and today I'm covering that report and everything inside of it that you might be able to use to help with your print-on-demand store going into the holiday season, which is where over 50% of your sales will be done. Having a successful print-on-demand business requires a couple of things, and that means a lot of hard work to make sure that you are creating designs that people want to buy and keeping on top of the trends so you are not getting left behind as new trends come about. Print-on-demand is amazing because you can literally catch a trend and get a design up the next day. And so that's why taking a look at data like we are today is so important for being able to be first to market with some great designs, or use the data on what people are searching for today. So that way we can have actual data-driven decisions for our business and not start from scratch. Every now and then, Pinterest will drop different reports on trends that are performing well or things that they're seeing on their platform. As we all know, Pinterest is a huge platform that people go to for design inspiration, for aesthetic inspiration, what's trending for the upcoming season, and different design ideas that they just like or also want to purchase. And so if people are typing certain things into Pinterest, that is a really good sign that there is heavy search traffic for those items and that there might be more eyeballs that could get on your products, whether you're listing them on Pinterest or those people are searching for those products on other platforms like Etsy or Google. And so when they release these reports that are completely free, by the way, it's a great idea to take a look at that data and start to ideate how we could take this information and actually turn it into actionable business insights regarding which products you could launch in each one of these categories. So let's jump into it. This is what the report looks like, and what I found to be very interesting and a good caveat to call out top of the report, that over 50% of Pinterest users are in Gen Z. This means that they were born approximately from 1997 to 2012, so it is a younger crowd. These are going to be people that are in their teens all the way up to their late 20s. So keep that in mind. Over 50% of this data is coming from that bucket of audience. And so it's a good pulse for what is trending in culture right now, because typically that group has their fingers on the pulse of what is hot and trending at this moment, but does not capture the entire US population. And so it's a good idea to keep that in mind. What I also found to be really interesting, and what they are riding the trend on, is that sustainability and thrifting and shopping secondhand has been soaring over the last couple of months and quarters. So Pinterest is actually launching their own business project where they're launching a thrift shop where folks can actually shop from different thrift stores across the United States on specifically used goods. And so this is something that when I first read this, I thought, wow, that's probably not a great opportunity for print on demand. But as I thought about it a little bit further, it's actually a great opportunity for print on demand. Let's say that you have a print on demand business and you do a lot of social media and you have the ability and you're comfortable to actually create content. What is so amazing about print on demand is that these are products that are not made until the order actually comes in. Lots of people are not liking the fact that fast fashion is happening, where all these products are produced, and if they don't sell, they basically just go to like this landfill. What's great about print on demand is none of that is happening here. If an item is actually desired and is something that people are wanting, when the order comes in, that actually gets purchased, but we're not creating a bigger problem by mass producing huge amounts of clothing and then shipping them off to gosh knows where when they don't sell. We're only selling products that actually are wanted by people, but you can have your customers feel safe that they're not just feeding into this unsustainable type of buying category. They're actually perpetuating really good sustainability by buying a product that focuses on no additional waste happening here, because there actually is no waste happening at all. We're only selling the product and making the product if it is something that people want. So if you are great with social media and you have a social media following, that is something that you might want to consider testing out and letting your folks know that you print everything to order, so there's not a lot of leftover waste and there's actually no leftover waste, and seeing if that resonates with some of these different types of shoppers that have interest in being more sustainable and thrifting or using loved things. I also think what's really interesting about this is it lends to the fact that people are wanting more of that like vintage style to feed into these more like vintage t-shirts and vintage items that they've seen kind of perpetuate in media. Some people might not be able to afford a actual vintage t-shirt that might be hundreds and hundreds of dollars because it's vintage and it's a classic. However, As print-on-demand sellers, we can make a item, we can make a design that gives off that similar aesthetic of being vintage without actually being dozens of years old. So keep that in mind too, on the fact that that is a wave that is continuing to take off. And we've seen vintage perform really, really well in 2025. And we anticipate that to be the same going into the back quarter of the year. As we continue the report, we're seeing some other really cool trends, some that aren't going to be as applicable from print on demand, but others that are right up our alley. So from fall fashion perspective, vintage prep and the polka dot aesthetic are rising to the top. People are really wanting that eclectic look. As we can see here, there are some patchwork clothes that are proving that people want something that's a little bit busier. So they're liking those designs that kind of have a lot going on and give off more of that eclectic vibe. There's also some interest in classic prep. Terms like women's preppy outfits and navy blue stripes have seen 3,900% up to 47,000% of growth. And so people are wanting this like preppy chic style. That's another area that you might be able to consider on how you can allude to that style within your mock-ups and give off more of that vibe for those folks that are really wanting this different type of aesthetic. What's very applicable from a print on demand perspective is this category that I will hone into, and that is caffeine inspired clothing. We've seen that drink items and drink designs do really well on print on demand, especially on platforms like Etsy. And so we're not seeing any of that slowing down here. Caffeine inspired clothing has seen crazy percentage growths. And so this is an area where we can do things like espresso martini outfit and have different items that fit this type of aesthetic. One that I wanted to give you an example is I used Canva to go ahead and make some designs that fit this kind of like vintage, but also bring in an espresso martini style. And I was able to upload this into Printify. I put this on the Comfort Color 1717T in ivory and put it as a back piece on the t-shirt. Printify, these are t-shirts that you're going to be able to get for anywhere from $12 to $15 with your Printify premium discount, which I'll include a link to that in the description below. And then like these are t-shirts that you'll be able to sell from $25 to $30, depending on if you really invest in your mockups, because this trend is such a high performer at this stage and seeing strong results. So this is an example of actually using the data on what is working well. You could list this design on a platform like Etsy and then list that as a pin on Pinterest to start riding that wave of momentum of people that are looking for espresso martini inspired outfits. As we scroll down further, we see other trends that seem to be of interest right now. 1960s baby doll glamour. I have to assume that this kind of fits within that coquette theme that we have seen really increase over the last couple of years. And we also see more information here on the patchwork pieces. So this is an area where we don't specifically do patchwork within print on demand, but there are all types of different ways that we can apply that same type of aesthetic and have it be eclectic, include a lot of colors, give off a very similar vibe. And in addition to having different trends relating to clothing and personal aesthetic, there's also a lot of really good nuggets in here regarding your space and the actual environment that you live in. So from an autumn accents perspective, Art Deco revival and chic cubicle decor are two categories that they are highlighting. And these are ones that I absolutely loved and have so many great ideas for. So Pinterest users are transforming their spaces with style that speaks to both comfort and creativity. So one that is rising to the top is cubicle chic. A lot of people are wanting to redefine their space at work. We've got more people that have gone back to work. They're back in office and they're wanting to make sure this fall 2025, they have that space be a little bit more creative and have that be made to their own liking. And so huge increases in searches for chic cubicle decor, work office makeover, corporate office desk decor, luxe office. So these are areas that we can take a lot of inspiration for print on demand. And so if you go over to Printify and you go over to the catalog, I would recommend you take a look at the home decor section, because a lot of the home decor pieces that we would find on a platform like Printify would be usable for office decor as well. And so if we go over to the platform, we can see all types of really good items that you could customize, put your own spin on, have a different niche that you're interested in, and then market them as office decor, not just home decor, to really ride this momentum for this trend as well. So a couple of those that are standing out to me that I think would work really well in an office would be the wall clock, their acrylic prints, which I think would be great, as well as the woven wall tapestry. I think could be another really great one that somebody might want to put on the back behind them while they're on video calls or something like that. And if you go over to the mouse pads category as well, there's a lot of different tech accessories and mouse pads that would work perfect for somebody that's really wanting to spruce up their office. That is really affordable and an easy way to add a little bit of color to their desk. So these are all areas that I would take that inspiration from for this trend of having a chic cubicle and apply that for your new listings within your print on demand business. These could perform well on Etsy with the holidays coming around, and it's clear that again, people are searching for these terms right now at a much higher rate than they were in the past. And if we're thinking about the home space or the office, the other areas that I would take a look at here are going to be more on the decor side of things. So here we have a huge increase in traffic for Art Deco decor. So if you are a shop that does digital downloads or you are doing a lot of prints, that's another good learning for us for today is Art Deco is having a huge increase in opportunity here. And in addition to that, if we scroll down past some of the beauty pieces, there are some really interesting insights about fall's dream destinations and where people are like wanting to travel to or have their eyes on from like an aesthetic perspective. And so we've seen that people are really interested in European countryside escapes, as well as Brazil nature and nightlife, and Greek mythical sites and sunset style. So these are all areas that if people are searching for this, they likely have interest in these areas that could make beautiful wall art, beautiful different designs that would be really great sellers, again, coming into holiday season. So keep an eye on these different categories. If you have inspiration here to launch products and launch different prints and art areas within these different terms, this is the data that I would take a look at to start to craft those different listings. I absolutely love taking a look at the trends and what is popular right now, because for me, it has been a huge unlock with my business of being able to see what is popular right now, what is untapped and still has so much opportunity before everybody has jumped on the trend. And I love sharing that with you. So hopefully this was helpful and you got a couple of good nuggets. I will drop the link to this article in the description below, along with Printify and all the different products that I think could be great sellers for the items that I mentioned. If this has been helpful, please like and subscribe for more content like this.